LGBTQ.
Yes.
They are applying there because we are LGBTQ category.
Yes. They came as international students, break the visa and apply for a refugee on LGBTQ claim. And then after a few months, they got the PR. Are you really LGBT? They're like, no, we're not. And like, we just want to get the permanent residency. We want a PR. And there's also lots of bias in the IRCC.
It's a big statement you are making. A bias in IRCC?
Definitely.
What do you want to say? What you have experienced when you got your license, and what kind of struggles you are doing?
They keep changing the rules. They keep changing they don't know. There's lots of confusion. They have no idea what they're doing. They're still giving the license for more and more consultants. And then when you have this loophole of the LMIA, which is the one and only thing that will bring the money to the business, basically.
LMIA.
Yes.
So means sale and purchase of the job.
Selling and purchase.
You want to say that other immigration consultant, not all of them, but many of them, they are doing this business?
100%.
Do you get the calls from the public, from the clients that they want LMIA, give us a job, $20,000, $50,000, we will pay you to get us a job? Do you get these kind of calls?
Yes, I did couple of projects to see what's going on, to test the market and see what's happening. They just selling these LMIA, and you have the corrupted consultants, and you have the corrupted system, and you have the corrupted government who just wants to turn the blind eye and keep it rolling, keep the loophole open.
Do you agree that what Canada was few years ago, now it has totally changed because of these kind of policies?
There is the era before Trudeau and the era after Trudeau.
Era before Trudeau and the era after Trudeau. Before Trudeau, what was the era?
It wasn't that easy, but it was going nice and smooth. It was organized.
And what is the era after Trudeau?
After Trudeau, it's a chaos, it's a nightmare, and it's still nightmare.
We will discuss the story of a new immigrant, or we can say life story of a immigration consultant here in Canada. We had seen many protests by the newcomers or students in Canada when they got failed from their colleges. We had seen the protests because their issue was that they came to the country for a better future, but they never got that. And they had to come on the streets because they failed the exams. They were not getting their permanent residence because there was a loophole in the systems. They said that government or our system promised us a pathway to the permanent residence. But on the other side, the government, the system said there was no guarantee for the pathway to permanent residence. That's why we had seen the LMIA process. There was a sale and purchase of a LMIA, means the jobs were selling and buying. Who was buying? These all newcomers or students, they were buying it in $20,000 to $50,000. Either it's a farm worker or a storekeeper or any other jobs. They were selling, and employers were selling, minting money. And who was buying it? These newcomers or students, they were buying it because system wants them to buy it. So there was a lot of hue and cry, there were protests. And in the system, there is always a good apples and bad apples. Today, we have one of the immigration consultant with us who raised her voice, who were by previous background. She was an activist, she was a publisher, she wrote books, and now she's an immigration consultant. But her story, she said she wants to work honestly, but there is no honesty left in the system because everybody wants to give money and buy the jobs. So the Canadians, they are not getting the jobs because the jobs are selling and buying. If we go to Indeed or if we go to the job sites, if we see thousands of jobs, 80+% jobs are just to show that we need a worker, but those are not the genuine jobs. What one should do. So let's hear direct from the immigration consultant who is raising her voice against the loopholes and how can we fix the system of ours. So let's talk to the concerned citizen who raised her voice against the system and against these loopholes which is going on in the immigration system. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate the time, and hopefully this message will go viral and many people will learn from it, and people hear the truth about what's happening actually. In
So
the
you
immigration system.
yourself as an immigration consultant,
Yes, sir.
what do you want to say? What you have experienced when you got your license, and what kind of struggles you are doing as an immigration consultant, and now seems you are repenting why you took this license.
Right.
So why this?
Okay, so we have two bodies here. We have the IRCC themselves and the College of Immigration. So basically, the system, it's not, first thing first, they keep changing the rules, they keep changing like they don't know, there's lots of confusion. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no clue to keep the system very clear to people who wants to immigrate to Canada and integrate in the country and actually give back to this country and actually work hard and really prosper and really build the communities and safe communities and keep it like economically as well as a strong country as it should be. But that's the whole point of bringing I'm immigrant myself. The intention of coming to this country is to build and not to destroy, to integrate within the communities and the system and learn the language and build and secure the family, and it's a beautiful, safe country as it should be. Unfortunately, the IRCC system, they keep on changing lots of things within, there's not much of a vetting, lots of bias in it. And also there is loopholes, lots of loopholes. We'll get back to the IRCC themselves, but first, I want to address also the issue with the College of Immigration.
What are the issues there with the College of Immigration?
The College of Immigration, number one, if they want to regulate us, they're not regulating themselves first to understand that also the struggle of us as a consultants. We had to pay hefty amount of money every 3 months, more like $500, just to keep the license active. If it happens that we cannot afford that, or there's not like a revenue or business to work, because we cannot, the consultants, the good apples in that business who wants to work with integrity, who really wants to help people with their application,
but that is their fee structure, that if you want to maintain the license, that is your fee structure.
Yes, yeah. But when it comes to reducing, capping of the immigration and reducing the number, automatically the work itself, it's not going to be as there is lots of prospering and there is many people who really needs the help and all that stuff. So basically what they're trying to do, they want us, they're expecting us as a consultant to have a proper, yet, and they have an office, to have a place and all that stuff, and yet they're still working remotely since COVID. There's no phone number to get hold of them. Mm-hmm. And once you receive an emails from them and all, they push us to do, like, there's no calls, there's nobody from their side to call us to so we can talk to them. I send them couple of emails that you leave us alone. There is no guidance, there is no help. There's even when we have to do the CBD hours, is the same videos that we're watching every year. There's nothing really new that I'm learning.
You mean to say that's the first challenge, that the communication with the College of Immigration, that is not an easy process?
No.
Because they work remotely.
Yes.
So that is the first challenge you say,
yes,
being a consultant you face. What
exactly.
is the next?
The next, they're not helping. Even if we have like a financial burden, the business is not, or the work, it's not like the revenue is not enough, sufficient enough. Like, we cannot, a consultant who's building a new business, we have to keep in mind, as someone who wants to work, I wanted to work. Even if I wanted to work with another offices, that's another issue. They're expecting me to speak another languages, which I don't. Then where we're gonna be left with?
Who is expecting you speak other languages?
Like some other consultants.
Other consultants.
Yes.
What kind of languages they want you to speak?
Like either Punjabi or Hindi or Mandarin or Chinese or other languages.
Means you mean to say, if you want to do a job,
yes,
they want you to have either Hindi, Punjabi,
yes,
English, Mandarin, Chinese, yes, or other Portuguese or other languages.
Exactly.
Okay.
And yet all the files, the application, the forms itself, the website itself, it's either English or all of it English or French. which is in French only in Quebec. We're not in Quebec, right? We're in Ontario. So basically what we are facing as a new consultant, number one, and they're still giving the license for and more consultants. And then when you have this loophole of the LMIA, which is the one and only thing that that will bring the money to the business, basically. The other applications, when it comes to family sponsorship, because also sometimes they open pilot and they close it. They allow like family sponsorship and then they close it. They open like a pilot program for 2 months only and then they close it. So what left? Either like a simple applications, we do visa, we do family sponsorship, spousal sponsorship, we can do the citizenship applications, we can do also work permit and all the extension, and all like these are application where we can help the people who's in the country as well to get their either work permit extended or visa extended and all that stuff, which is normal to do that. But what about the people who wants to come from outside Canada and they're not really qualified when it comes to the express entry? Where is the loophole now? There's two pathways for the loophole. The LMIAs for foreign workers, which is under the temporary foreign worker program, and they get the if the consultants. Well, many consultants. I came like this is like a first-hand experience with many of them. I tried to do my own project to discover what's going on as I was going in the business, and I'm like, how can I prosper? How can I be self-employed, having my freedom? That's what I wanted to have initially, to work for myself and support myself and support my family. But how would I be able to do that without like facing these obstacles and these challenges? So I came across, like, as we dig more deep and as we learn more and as I search more and talk to people, connect with other offices in here. So I find out one and only way to really prosper, to really make really hefty amount of money. I'm talking about millions of dollars, not just a few thousands and a few hundreds. It's the LMIA.
LMIA.
Yes.
So means sale and purchase of the job.
Selling and purchase.
You want to say that other immigration consultant, not all of them, but many of them, they are doing this business?
100%. So if the consultant, there you have a consultant and you have the middleman. Who's anonymous. Nobody knows. Right? Either they go back and forth between the two countries, whatever the countries is. It's not just this is exclusively to the Indian communities. No, there's many other communities. You have in Africa, you have in Middle East, you have everywhere. So you have the consultant, you have the middleman, you have the job, the business owner, the owner of the business, and you have the clients. So you have these four people. The clients, or the person who's desperate to leave their country and to come to Canada because whatever the reason is, they just want to work. They don't want to they don't have they want to put like all the elongated process for the CRS score on, go to in the pool, and we don't know how long it will take them to be in the pool, to be, get the invitation to apply for a permanent residency. They just want to come and work. That's it. It doesn't matter. Cleaning, farming, you have food industry. Do you get the calls from the public, from the clients, that they want LMIA, give us a job, $20,000, $50,000, we will pay you, so get us a job? Do you get these kind of calls? Yes, I did couple of projects to see what's going on, to test the market and see what's happening. So at one time, I put it like, I don't have job offers or LMIAs or anything. I just put on my advertising, LMIA approved, for a cook, for cleaners, for construction workers, for just as a project to check what is going. Just as a project, what's the outcome? What will happen? I received hundreds of calls, and then I don't I was just well, it's gonna cost you 25, 35, whatever. And okay, ma'am, no problem, we can pay. So you want to say, when are we gonna have it?
Means the public, they want LMIAs. If you
Yes.
want to do a honors without LMIA
Yes.
system, you don't get any calls, any inquiries.
Nothing, really, zero. But then I said, okay, so I'm receiving all the stuff, and I did another project to see if I can hire like people who can work with me as a representative or assistant or marketing team and whatever. I received over 1,000 resume. I cannot check them all and read them all, but as I was like, skipping through them, 99.99, like they are legally able to work in the country, either citizen or
So that
permanent.
shows that jobless people are much more in the country.
100%. Like I receive resumes, I was shocked to see their qualifications, their the skills, the education that they have. They can get into like way higher positions as well. And
So what is the reason for this? What do you
well,
see?
the reason is that you have a greedy employer who, without genuine job, they just selling these LMIA, and you have the corrupted consultants, and you have the corrupted system, and you have the corrupted government who just wants to turn the blind eye and keep it rolling, keep the loophole open, and then in this loophole, here you go. You're getting thousands of jobless people in the country, and yet there is people who has the money. Some of them selling their lands back home, selling their homes back home, just to purchase this LMIA. And by the way, who comes on the LMIA? It's a closed work permit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not forever. It's not a PR. It's not a guarantee.
We
Yes.
have heard many cases in the market, in the public domain, social media, that many students, they never went to the college.
Right.
Number two, they have applied for a refugee status.
Right.
When they came to the country, they were not having any threat on them.
Nothing.
Now, just to get a PR, they applied for a refugee status.
Yes.
And now there is a landlord story. They are not paying to their landlords also. And also LGBTQ.
Yes.
They are applying there because we are LGBTQ category.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
do you came across any such cases of refugee or
Definitely.
LGBTQ? Can you share some?
Yes, sir. Well, I had a client who we helped with the work permit extension, and they disclosed to me that they came as international students, break the visa, and apply for a refugee on LGBTQ claim, and then after a few months they got the PR, like within a year, like they apply through refugee through the legal aid. So basically, and I asked them in a personal level, you know what I mean? I'm not saying like, about, against the people themselves. It's the system, it's the loophole. Are you really LGBT? They're like, no, we're not. And like, we just want to get the permanent residency. We want a PR. We want the PR. On another hand, I want to stress on a very, very important issue. The genuine international student who really worked hard, who really studied hard, and I have a couple of clients who's really genuinely paid the fees, study, graduated, and they have a higher degrees from back home, from different part of the world as well. And when the PGWP expiring, because it's one time, they're not receiving the invitation to apply for a permanent residency yet. So what's the option? The system is telling them you have two options. It's either to go back to your attempt to maintain their status to be legal in the country. They need to change their condition to go back to study permits, or get a job offer supported by LMIA.
And LMIA is not free.
LMIA, it's not free.
So
I
our
had a
third
couple
is-
of clients, their bosses, who they're working for them, and the company is eligible to do the LMIA. They refused, but they don't want to do the LMIA, and they're like, "Where I'm gonna go now?" But they have the genuine job; they're actually working.
Our third option is go back to your home country.
Exactly, or go back to there. But then after that, like you see, some people, the vetting is the problem.
Okay.
There's there's not enough vetting when it comes to, and there's also lots of bias in the IRCC. About around 2 years back, if
It's
people,
a big statement you are making. A bias in IRCC?
definitely around 2 years back, the IRCC give opened the door for a student who came from Iran, international student, stating, oh, because of the situation in Iran, any international student who come to Canada on a study visa, now they are able to get the open work permit. Forget the LMIA, there's no LMIA. You can work whatever you want, open work permit for 2 year, 3 year, able to be extended as well, only for Iranian international students.
Okay.
And yet, when I see the Indian international student, the genuine one who struggle, who really wants to remain in the country and work and contribute. So I think it's the best way or the solution for this. So why are you giving these people the option to leave your college and go ahead and work for whatever, anywhere in Canada, whatever job you want, and yet you have another, on the other hand, the student who struggling to take to the day-to-day, like, you know, life expenses and yada. And we have lots of students, they end up leaving the colleges and either, as we said, either apply on a refugee claim, which they don't, there's no ground really for that.
So that is called a fake refugee claim?
The fake refugee claims. And also you have as well, on another hand, the government who is giving or funding millions of dollars for certain parts of the world to come to this country and give them income of more than $3,000 a month, just because, you know, they came from a conflict zone or whatever zone. And we have the political oppositions, you know, in the Middle East or in some part of the world, like in India maybe, or in Palestine maybe, I don't know, like there's so many, some groups, they claim that they are the opposition. You know that according to the immigration law, they are, it's a ground for them to stay and receive the permanent residency.
So that we had seen that many people, many students, they are misusing the separatist movements back home in the countries. They are using that here. Because when they came, they never disclosed that they are linked with those kind of a separatist movements or that ideology. Here, they are not getting PR. Now they are saying we support that movement. That's why we need a refugee status. So that's kind of a fake. So
of course, misleading.
So same thing in the LGBTQ, same sex marriages is happening, which is kind of many of the cases might be fake. What do you say?
Right. Yes. And some people openly is telling me, this is the thing, I struggle. How can I work as an immigration consultant who love this country? I'm a patriot myself. I really want to help people who's really in need. I'm not saying everyone doesn't need it. I'm an immigrant myself, so why not helping? Again, vetting is the problem. Getting cross, like, you know, making sure the story is really genuine, like really approved by evidence and all that stuff. And people is telling me openly, clients are telling me openly over the phone, oh, my wife back home, but I want to apply refugee here as a bisexual, you know? My license doesn't really qualify me to do refugee cases, but we can help with the, you know, the basic form and yada, like only basic thing, maybe help with the story. I said, how can you prove it? Like how are you going to do? I refused so many people. I could have made so much money out of these cases, by the way. And on another hand, you have the ghost consultant who doesn't have the license. They're out of the zone of the regulation. They are free to do whatever they want, either from whatever different outside Canada or even inside the country, making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, taking these people, faking whatever accounts, and name it. Like there's so many things. There's lots of things happening. So it's a chaos.
So do you want to say that CRA, our tax system, and the immigration system, they should audit these all immigration consultants? 100%. How come they accumulated so much of wealth here?
100%.
They should
100%,
audit it?
100%. I will be the first one. They're not gonna find anything.
You yourself as a immigration consultant,
yeah.
Are you not scared talking all this and bringing in public life? Because in social media, everything is available, but still you are raising your voice against
definitely,
this.
I tell you why, because it's also break my heart. I've seen also some consultants giving away their license after really working hard on it. It wasn't easy for us to get the license. It took me up to like 3-4 years to really, they vetted me with all the criminal background, criminal check, this and that, and lots of money, lots of study, lots of work, and all that stuff. So I came to the point like where I did my project, so I can wants to hire people with me. I also received many calls and from licensed immigration consultants, or newly licensed, or they don't have like a years of experience and yada. They say, we regret that we got this license. Many people, I had some person who came is like, they have very high education beside the license and all. They end up working in Walmart because they want to make a day-to-day money, like living, right? So they either giving away their license, which is I really am considering if I'm not gonna be able to, work with people who can support and help, so we can have at least for once someone who can say, yes, we don't sell the LMIA, we don't do that, we don't do this. A clean place we can work, number one, with integrity. Number two, helping the people who really needs to help. Because before the IRCC, the file, we see it.
Yeah.
We actually preparing the file for the IRCC officer to look at it and say, approved or not approved, or there is some mistake, return, fix it, and go through it. We are the one who's doing actual vetting. So when I'm receiving all these calls and all these inquiries, then when it comes to the honesty here, if someone is telling me, okay, you know what, we're not really married, we're just faking it, can you do the spousal sponsorship? No, because at the end of the day, the truth will always prevail. That's my belief.
I agree with you, because if you refuse, or I mean to say, if immigration consultant refuse the file,
Yes.
so they will go to the next consultant.
Exactly.
They will go to the third. Out of the lot, they will find someone who will get a money,
Definitely.
extra money, and file their cases. But those bad apples should be exposed.
Definitely.
And they should be audited.
Definitely. Lots of ghost consultants, lots of consulting openly. They're not even hiding it anymore on their social media, on their whatever platforms. And they say, LMIA, and then behind the scene, they're taking thousands. I'm talking, forget the 2025. I'm talking about 35, 40, 50 to 60 to 70,000.
So how the government can fix the system?
And to add to that, before we get to the solution, you have the consultant, the middleman, the employer, and also the clients and the accountants who bring these people when they come to this country. Okay, now they have the work permit, but there is no job. How they gonna say, okay, yes, we work 1 year or 2 years for that company. There is a payroll is running.
Yeah.
They run the payroll. So it's a net.
It's a net.
And it's widespread.
Running payroll. Let me
Yes.
clear
Yeah,
it.
that's
the
crazy.
Companies, that's crazy. Companies are running the payroll, fake
Yes.
payrolls.
Yes.
They are showing their companies in losses.
Right.
They are hiding their taxes.
Right.
How come they are eligible to get a foreign worker when they are into loss, when
Yes.
they are running a fake payrolls?
Yes.
Why this is not being audited?
Well, that's the question to go to the politicians, to the people who's really working for Canada, working for the Canadian, working for the below the middle class people who are struggling day to day. And now they're asking why the crime rate is very high. So when you have a youth, I'm talking about the age of 19, 20, 21, 22, all these kids, they're not even finding a basic work. I'm talking about just flipping burger or do some landscaping or do whatever, anything, labor work. Not even labor work. It's gone. It's gone. And then when I see myself, when I receive thousands of resume of a PR and Canadian citizen who's willing to work with me, right? And I'm looking at their resume, they can be my boss with their qualification, way overqualified for the work, And I said, I felt so sad. And this is, that's the sad reality. And then when it comes to the solution, I will wrap it up here. Number one, this concern, it has to be discussed in the House of the Parliament.
Okay.
And motions has to be raised up through the members of parliament who, by the way, work for us. We don't work for them.
Yes.
They work for Canada. They work for the Canadian who trusted them to be in the House of the Parliament, vetting and auditing and go get on the ground level to see and to get all the proof and evidence that there is a chaos happening. There's lots of fraud happening. There's lots of people. I had the clients who came to this country as an international student, but there is no college. That's another issue, the colleges. There is no college. It's empty place.
Okay.
I had to help her. She doesn't know how to use the web form. Pro bono, I didn't take anything. Young girl, she is lost. She has no idea. That's not her fault. She has she has the study permit and the stamp on her passport. She's like, I don't know what to do. Where I'm gonna go? I'm afraid. I'm scared. What I'm gonna do?
If someone call you from the parliament, because they might be watching it,
Right.
if someone call you from the House of Commons,
Yes.
will you be able to give them all the proofs and all the things you have to them, so that they can bring a
Definitely.
motion there in the parliament?
Definitely. Listen, I'm talking from within. I'm a consultant. Okay, I do have a active license as well. The stuff that we're talking about, the government has to do a serious project to work within the people who can hear the stories and can. Sometimes, it's not just about okay, I got you. Now you have your name on the LMIA. Okay, now how you gonna prove it? It's number one, they get paid by cash. Number two, they go. It's a net from this name, not on their name. They have the other people name, other people accounts with other people who has another people who has their accounts. It's either inside the country or outside Canada.
Yeah.
It's a serious project, and the people really wants to come forward with this, and the member of the parliament who really genuinely really care about this country and care about the youth in this country and care about the hard-working Canadians who really wants to work. And don't tell me they don't want to do this job. There's many people willing to do anything just to make the living and day to day to survive with this. Of course, the prices is gone crazy up of living and fooding and everything. So what are we gonna do? My suggesting, it's just a suggesting, for the PR, why you're telling these international students, come and study for 2 years, get a work permit, PGWP, only one time, and work for 2 years, and here you go, you're eligible to apply for a permanent residency. The moment you're telling them that you are eligible to immediately apply for permanent residency, you're giving them a fast hope. You're giving them a door. You're telling them, okay, and then for these people who now finished, they got the PGWP, they are in the pool of the CEC, the Canadian Experience class. God knows how long they're going to be there. You got the work permit expiring soon. How are they going to maintain their status until they are waiting in the country and they are actually working and paying tax? Extend it. Extend the work permit for the international student. Forget the PGWB. Give them minimum 5 years and extend it for another 5 years of open work permits.
So work
then
for
there's
5 plus
no need for LMIA. He doesn't need an LMIA.
Yeah. So they can work legally for 5 plus 5, 10 years.
Yes. Don't you wanna build the country? Don't you wanna hard-working taxpayers people in this country? Leave them. Let them work for 5 years, extend it for another 5 years. Many countries are doing the same thing.
Many countries do the same thing.
Doing this, it's not like something, oh wow, it's not really.
In Europe or in US, the
in
same
Europe,
thing.
it's the same thing.
Same thing.
It's not easy to get the PR. Don't give them false hope. Oh, get the PR within 2 years. Come to Canada, 6 months and you are a permanent resident. 2 years after you are a Canadian citizen.
And then they apply for a fake refugee and fake LGBTQ.
Exactly. Within 2 years, they are a permanent residents, and in no time, they are a citizen. Yet, they don't even know the national anthem of Canada. They don't know the history of this country. They don't know the what's happened really and what's going on. They're not really. Give them the time to integrate. how can I integrate to any country? If I travel to any country of the world, can I integrate within 2 years?
It takes time.
It takes time integrating. It's not like a magic. They need time to learn the language, properly proficient the language, and learn more skill. There's the
road science, the driving science,
exactly.
the
Everything
ethics.
is evolving.
Yes.
Lots of things happening.
Do you agree that what Canada was few years ago, now it has totally changed because of these kind of policies?
There is the era before Trudeau and the era after Trudeau.
Era before Trudeau and era after
Yes.
Trudeau. Before
Yes.
Trudeau, what was the era?
It wasn't that easy, but it was going nice and smooth. It was organized.
And what
You
is
can-
the era after Trudeau?
After Trudeau, it's a chaos. It's a nightmare, and it's still nightmare. And it's not between day and night that can be fixed. I hope I'm not like, it's not about being liberal or conservative. It's being Canadian, being really care about this country,
I agree.
care about the kids who born and raised in this country.
They should have jobs. They should have their
have the
future secured.
priority.
They should have not face the housing crisis. They should
Exactly.
live in a Canada which was a 1990s era.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bring vetting. Let's not forget the story of the father and the son who's being convicted, plotting like a terrorist attack, and they are citizen.
Yeah.
How they end up in this country, we don't know.
Yes.
How these people who really genuinely, I came across some cases people who really wants to come as a visitor, as a tourist, they show thousands of dollars. They genuinely wants to come and leave. They got their visa rejected. And yet people who doing there's something, and now they're entering the AI to the immigration and have fun with that.
Yeah.
You want to tell me that more than 2 million application, visitor visa or tourist visa, was refused? This is a human being actually looked at it and vetted?
No.
And many people, when they do mistake, I had a case of someone, they give the approval for a father and mother on the same name on the documents.
Wow.
And then when they did this mistake and closed the file, after 5 or 6 times after that, trying to fix the problem, they say, sorry, we cannot open it, it's closed. Changing the Minister of Immigration, changing the opening pilot here and close it. They're confused. The government is confused. The IRCC is confused. The CICC, the College of Immigration, also confused. Everybody is confused. Who has the sight to see the reality and to see the problem the way it is and address it the way it is? Again, we want the immigrant. We want to build this country. Canada, it's very beautiful. And I appreciate this country who opened the door for me and who give me the place, the shelter when I need it, the food when I need it, the safety, the security when I need it, the protection of the law enforcement as well. Beautiful. And then after Trudeau, everything went upside down.
You also mentioned that
Sorry.
if you're not able to do your work being a consultant honestly, then
I have no business.
it's better to quit your license and do a hairstylist job or something else.
Yeah.
That also you mentioned.
Yes, definitely. As at the end of the day, if after 3-4 years of really working hard and trying to build it didn't happen it's not like I got the license after 6 months. I decided to. I genuinely tried my best for years.
Okay.
To build, to see, and understand what's going on, to see if there is a way of doing it. So what are you gonna say to the people if many they don't really wanna come to study, they just want money, they wanna work, they just wanna put their feet in the country. It doesn't matter what they do after.
Okay. Thank
So
you
what I'm
very
gonna
much.
do?
Thank you very much because you raised a voice being in the system, into the
Yeah.
immigration system,
Yeah.
and it makes a lot of sense because you know the inside out.
Exactly.
And we thank you for bringing these concerns in front, and hopefully the parliamentarians and the elected officials, those who
Yes.
are listening, they will act because it's always better than being late. It's always sooner is
Exactly.
better.
Sooner is better because it's not gonna get any cleaner. It's gonna get more and more worse. Please fix the IRCC, fix the immigration system. If anybody is watching, please share the video and share the message. Many people need to know the truth, and not really every immigration consultant is a bad apple. I'm one of the good apples, and I can prove it as well. And hopefully that also many other immigration consultant who's facing the same problem, feel free to come out, nothing to be afraid of. When we speak the truth that goes right into the people's heart and mind. And we love Canada, and we always prefer to put Canada first and Canadian first, and also keep the immigration system clean from all the corruption.
Thank you. Thank you. So this was an immigration consultant, a true Canadian who has a pain, because when she saw the loopholes in the system and how these people, they are either employers or the clients or a system loopholes, they are misusing our system. So she thought she has to raise the voice. Many other consultants also raised their voice, but much of a success has been come out from the system itself. We need to stop this. We need to fix the system.